Hello, and welcome to episode number 21 of Kit Room. Episode number David Silver. I'm gonna run with this shirt number, malarkey, because it's a bit of fun. Hey, yeah. Thank you very much for joining us, me, both audio and visually. Hope you're well. I've been gone a couple of weeks, but I've been starting a new job, so finding my feet, but they've been found. They're at the bottom of my legs. So before I do chuck over to the guest, stay tuned to the end because there may be a little giveaway, but more on that later. So my guest, who are you? What do you do in the space of football shirt content world? And also, most importantly, what shirt are you wearing?
Well, my name is Paul. I run a little company called FootballKitBox, the primary and original Kickbox company that's out there. We just source beautiful, wild, wonderful shirts from all over the world and have a subscription service for it. What am I wearing? Well, I'm wearing the greatest Son of the League team in the world. Surely you've heard of the Billy Goats, Caversham United, right?
I certainly have. Very big on Twitter. And
what are you wearing first before we come to them?
Me. Oh,
that's a stonker. That is an absolute stonker.
I am currently wearing the 1992 Northern Ireland away shirt. I know you're based in Ireland and not Northern Ireland, so I could be offending one or two people maybe somewhere. But no, I used to have, I've mentioned to you before, I used to have an Ireland shirt when I was a child, and I need to find out which year it was because I'm going to try and get it again. I was about 6 at the time, so I need to double check which shirt it was and rebuy it. But for the time being, this is all I have. But I've got to go retro for you. I've got to bring out one of the big guns.
It's beautiful. That is one of my favorite templates of all time, and that particular colorway. I know Malta used it and someone else used it. I did, but that colorway for me was the best. And loving Kit like supersedes pretty much any political affiliations. The Kit community is one big lovely family, so I wouldn't worry about that. I'm not at all offended.
Okay, that's fine, but I'm going to quickly look deadpan to camera, and we don't accept Tories. No. So, oh, where were we? No, I remember John Devlin's recent book on the international shirts. He described this design as the Cuba design, and I used to play Cuba.
Oh yeah,
I used to play Cuba in school all the time on the computers when I technically shouldn't have been doing so. But it's just such a fun game. I haven't seen it in an arcade, but arcades don't tend to exist as much as they used to do.
No, you're right.
But so let's go back to both Caversham United and who you are. So, FootballKitBox. How did it come about, and what do you offer? You said there was a subscription service.
Yeah, well, that would be the main bulk of my customers. Yeah, they sign up for a monthly subscription, and then there's a themed month every month, and so I just try and bring a little bit of attention to varying clubs from different countries all over the world. Have a sort of a focus on non-league or smaller kind of clubs, and just looking to point my social media attention on them, for the duration of the month, and then getting the kit in the hand is usually got a good way of starting a relationship between a person and a club. So the clubs kind of buy into that, and the people buy into that as well, because it's just a different way of maybe exploring the world of football. That'll be the main part of it. I do sort of one-off kit boxes or special limited edition kit boxes as well. I am at the moment kind of working around Brexit and pandemic and postal and logistics sort of situations, so there is a lot of kind of flat packing going on at the moment. So but I can't call it football kit bag because that sounds a little bit wrong. So yeah, just evolving in a very dynamic space. I suppose the kit world the kit industry has experienced a bit of a renaissance over the last couple of years, and just delighted to be part of it. Delighted to be part of that Kit community, and to be working on a project that's mine. It's my baby. The reason I got into Kickbox was because I was looking to do something for myself, and I was looking for a product that had a bit of wow, and it wasn't a hard sell. And everybody, well, if you like football shirts, people love getting football shirts in the post. So packaging it in a kit box was just a way of differentiating myself in the market. And I was different for quite a while.
Well, that's what I was going to come on to. So you mentioned the football shirt space is ever growing, and it is like 2006, I think, classic football shirt started, and they've kind of took the main brunt on it and grew. Then you've had cult kits come through, TSBN, but then you've had also small individual sellers. It seems like every second account that follows me is a new seller, but you've got the likes of Circa 88 who have got their unique selling point of the South American hard to get Charlie kits. And then you look at mystery boxes. So you've been on Twitter at the same time as me, about 2018. But they've all of a sudden come out of the woodwork a lot more. But none stretch as far back as 2018.
Mystery boxes are a more concerning pandemic than the coronavirus. They are
more deadly.
Yeah. Well, if Bruno Fernandes scores tonight, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a legitimate part of how to sell shirts now. You know what I mean? Like, up until 3, 4, 5 months ago, it was Depop, eBay, classic football shirts, M&M Direct, the main guys, and then you're more kind of boutique or retro kind of smaller guys, and then the mystery kit thing just exploded, and the few fellas that kind of do it well, maybe, and then Ellis Platten doing a video on it as well, it just kind of raised the whole profile of it. And it seems like every Tom, Dick, and Harry now is starting one, and I don't know why, because it's a difficult space to get into, and it's a difficult space to probably maintain. You know what I mean? So I wish them the very, very best of luck, as long as they don't tag me in competitions on Twitter, because that's a block straight away.
Not a fan of competitions or raffles. No. But when I was talking about Circa 88 having his niche, your niche is also with lower league kits, which I think is a very good segue into the next section of this conversation, which is the lower league teams who you've worked with, done work with, supplied with, this and the other. So the shirt you're wearing, for example, Kettering United, you are the front sponsor on there. And they're one example of a team, but who have you worked with, and what work have you done with some teams? And if you've got them to hand, let's see some kits.
Yeah, get your kits out. I've been working with Kettering United since the start. We kind of grew in tandem. Well, they went off on a different stratosphere, but really, really cool bunch of guys. Really good on Twitter. They got their nickname. They got their they have the crest designed all by Twitter competitions. The jersey itself, Jack Vaness was the designer, and he did a brilliant job. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Kappa is probably up there with my favorite brands. Difficult to wear with the lockdown bod, so I am sucking in a lot. But it's navy as well, so which makes it kind of very unusual. Has a Billy Goat there on the side of it, and just delighted to be part of their story. They were kind of the first sort of non-league guys I got involved with, and I've branched out and dealt with lots of different clubs in the meantime, and that's the favorite part of Kickbox for me, because most of my customers are interested in the broader sense of football, and they mightn't be diehard in the wool supporters of one club, and they're interested in the regional divisions and non-league Russia and South America and stuff like that. So I suppose that's that's the kind of route, that I took, and worked with quite a number of them. I did get the guys the Caversham Cup shirts last. They had the Caversham Cup last year, not last year, the year before now. They arrived the day after the Caversham Cup, which was awful. Joe Hales, number 9, who's also turned into a bit of a kit designer as well. And they're doing great work with Hope and Glory. I'll show you. We'll get on to Project 2020 in a minute. But if you're not following Caversham United, definitely give them a follow. Just really, really cool guys. I'm following loads of the top clubs around the world. And, they're always interacting with Cologne and Roma and stuff like this. And for a small little Sunday League team in Berkshire that one man and his dog probably go down and watch, they're kind of behemoths online. So yeah, delighted to be part of them, to be part of their story.
I do know that, like, I remember when Roma started following them, and I was like, this is like crazy to me that you could go to show them a map, is like, right, okay, point out where they are, no clue, no idea, and it's just really cool that a Sunday League team can get such a mass following, and you're also a part of it with the shirt sponsor. So there could be some knocking about in Rome advertising Football Kitbox for you.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, there is people all over the world, because they've sent their photographs in, and it's really cool seeing them pop up. And we have a Billy Goats here in New York City, and they have a photograph of Football Kitbox on there. So that's really cool. Although this year it's going to be Balls to Cancer. I've stepped aside for they've just finished a new competition, and the Balls to Cancer, which is a really good charity in the UK, supporting people with cancer and their families. That's going to be the primary sponsor on the new. There's just finished a brand new competition on Twitter as well. So I am moving to the sleeve or the back. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to talk to the design team about that. But still staying connected with it, and hopefully we'll do as their journey progresses.
So they're just one example of a team you've worked with. Are there any other couple teams? And there are some kits to your side here, which I will let you talk through this one right now. It's a very nice Adidas design.
Yeah, this is a lovely take on that kind of my Adidas sort of template. Derry City FC, based up in the north. They were the team of the team of the month for January last month. A very unusual sort of fade there on top. Traditionally they have the stripes, but this is the limited edition alternate third kit, which I got exclusive. I do strike a lot of exclusive deals on the shirts that are maybe not so available to other people. But really, really great club. They're nearly 100 years old, and they've had a very kind of checkered and difficult past, obviously being based in the north. They had a difficult history, maybe, playing in the IFA, which was predominantly sort of Protestant, and they ended up leaving that in the 80s due to crowd violence and other sort of stuff that was happening. And they've been playing down in the south in the League of Ireland since 1985 and done really well. Won it a couple of times, won lots of FAI Cups and League of Ireland Cups, and they're going to be probably one of the only teams leaving the UK every weekend to go and play their matches in Europe, which is a little bit bonkers. But football should be, for me anyway, and for a lot of the kick community, is about bringing people together. So I wanted to highlight maybe Derry's story, with the backdrop of Brexit and, a bit of bubbling of, there seems to be a lot of online trolling and stuff like that, especially, James McLean, and, there's maybe a bit of bubbling anti-Irish sentiment there that's not quite as drastic as maybe some of the other stuff, and maybe the Irish people are letting it slide, but it seems strange, the amount of abuse that's out there. So, I wanted to maybe show and highlight the club and sort of say, there's more to that, and football and Football Kitbox should be about bringing people together. and not causing divisions. And that's why we have to kind of, as people, rise to the occasion here, because we could allow the pandemic and Brexit and all these things to drive us further apart. And I think it's important, if I can do something and, help to make somebody's life a little bit better, or, open people's eyes to a particular scenario, then, that's important for me,
Yeah. And
so go give Derry a follow. Yeah, they're a great club.
I was going to say your current pinned tweet is
sorry?
Your current pinned tweet is a very detailed historical story on the club. I don't know if your pinned tweet will be changing soon, but I have just bookmarked it on my Twitter, and when this episode goes live, I will quote retweet it. But you've done very well in that thread, and cramming everything in with Twitter's allocated, is it 280 characters or?
Yeah, I hate those big threads because they take me forever to write. Yeah.
And have I mentioned this before? No, I can't. And they take forever to go up, and but no, some great work.
Yeah, well, I like to get, as I said, there's 10,000 followers there, so I like to, there's only a few hundred kickboxers every month, you know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot more following online. So, and to be honest with you, the football kick community, I find, is quite liberal and quite accepting, and quite universal and stuff like that. I don't think it leans to the abuse side of it. I think that happens maybe in other kind of pockets in the football world, but still, it's it's an important story to tell. And I think maybe Northern Ireland is in a very difficult place at the moment, and some people are kind of we leave it behind or whatever, and I think it's important to keep the story going. And what's happening to James McLean is wrong. It's wrong, and that our anti-Irish sentiment is there, and it needs to be addressed. It's not right. It's not right, as is any form of abuse or any sort of racism. So yeah, I'd like to do my bit. That's essentially it. So yeah, go and check out the thread. Fascinating story, fascinating club, and some really cool stories. Then Christmas then was Roger Stone, AFC Roger Stone. You've probably seen this kit doing the rounds anyway, haven't you?
At least 4 times.
Yeah. Well, the sponsor probably makes it for me, Tiny Rebel. It just looks like a cool sponsor, but it's also it's a craft brewer company. This is a team in Gwent in Wales, a non-league team. And that shirt, actually, after I bought them, I had discovered that it was designed by Gustavo Pontjevic, which is an Argentinian designer who I've done a bit of work with, and I didn't even know that was his shirt. So delighted again to support, the smaller teams. And there's a huge movement with the smaller teams now realizing that there's an income stream available there. The age of Joma teamwear is dead, and smaller teams are Joma. Some smaller teams, the ones who are maybe active on Twitter and stuff like that, have tapped into the kick community. There's a few clubs doing it really, really well. Hope and Glory are sorry?
Shout out 1874 Northwich. But that's just because
who have emailed me actually, and I am in hopefully in talks about organising them to be a club of the month soon. So watch this space. Hope and Glory have been right in the mix with the kick community. I've done a good bit of work with them as well, and obviously they helped me with Project 2020. I'll get to that in a second. This is probably one of the best last year, and again, not only is it a beautiful shirt, just love the way it's kind of put together. The Kit Factor designed this one, and it has the archipelago on the back as well. Do you know where the Chagos Islands is, or who the Chagos Islands are, or?
I haven't a clue, no. But I'd seen that shirt a lot, but I'd never seen the back of it. I really like the back of that.
It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it's Diego Garcia. It's a tiny little island in the Indian Ocean, and it was it used to be owned by Mauritius, and the Chagossians were evicted in the 50s and 60s by the British sort of sold it or leased it to the Americans for a military base, and all of the Chagossians were kicked out off the island. So they ended up in the UK. There's a strong Chagos UK diaspora, and they are campaigning to return. They want to return, and they're campaigning to the UN that it's, you know, it was an illegal occupation or whatever, and the British illegal occupation. Don't go down that road. I'm only joking. And yeah, but so again, having that shirt, it's a cool shirt. It's a cool shirt. You'll have it in your collection on merit, but there's a backstory, and you're actually contributing and you're helping as part of being a kickboxer. You're you're helping that campaign of marginalized people, or and you can help by doing your own little bit while adding to your collection, which is cool.
Yeah, you're always finding kits with stories as well, which is great, because so many shirts that are coming out now with the design, and there's always it's like a PR fluff piece on what the story is behind it. It's like, no, it's not. Whereas the ones that you're exampling and the one you were just about to pull out, I imagine, have got a storied history behind it.
Yeah, they do, and that makes it for me. You've heard of Wanderers, the first team to win the FA Cup. Yeah, I was going to say the World Cup.
I have, yes.
Wanderers. Yeah. So they were founded in 1859, and they won the FA Cup 5 times, and then they disbanded, and they were reformed a few years ago under special dispensation. Mark Wilson over there is a bit of a historian. He's a teacher, and he wanted to kind of reinvigorate the brand and the club, and they did so with special permission from the family members of the original Wanderers founders and stuff like that. So they have some spectacular kits. They're involved with Project 2020 as well. I don't have their kit as well, but they did one last year, which was the anniversary kit. Again, it was competition, and there's a map of Norwood but at the time in the 1850s. So it's an OS map at the time, and it's made by Icarus, and they left their brand off just to give it that old world look, lovely granddad color on it. And this one was actually match prepared as well. You can see the 5 stars there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, Wanderers are great team to be involved with. They are the name it comes from a lot of these old clubs were old boys clubs, like ex Eton or ex Harrow, or and that's how the sports clubs kind of formed. And Wanderers were more of a kind of a hodgepodge of people from all over, so they were kind of an international team before such a thing even existed, and they have a roll call of people who've represented them from all over the planet and stuff like that. So that tied in kind of nicely to what I'm doing. So love seeing that story. That story is kind of close to my heart as well. So I'm excited about their new shirt. Has gone right back to the kind of rugby jersey look. I don't know if you ever saw it, but it's pink and gold and yellow. Like no other club has it. It's kind of tapered on the sleeve there.
Right, okay.
But the new shirt has it, and it's you wouldn't mistake it with anyone else. It's brilliant, really, really cool. Yeah.
I look forward to seeing this.
Yeah, but you will soon. Then the London Underground League is something I didn't know what to make of when I heard it. I actually visualized something like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lair, and all these metro and the rail workers were meeting at their lunch breaks and turning on their headlamps and playing soccer or something. I didn't know what, but apparently they played their games overground anyway. And
not as fun.
Although you did, although you didn't have this, you did have to at the start. You don't have to be working on that particular line. So at the start, you had to be working on the Piccadilly line to play for Piccadilly.
Right.
Yeah. So I started working with Jason and the boys over there in District, who were one of the original teams and used to be probably the strongest team. Piccadilly have been dominating the last couple of years, but District have actually won the league, the Division 1 league last year and the cup. So they're going to be promoted. They're going to be playing against Piccadilly this year. So I'm excited about that. So I helped them. We did another Twitter competition with and Jack Vaness. No, it wasn't a competition. Sorry, just Jack designed the home and away, and they were sponsored by Greenpeace and the Samaritans. So they do great work for those, two big charities, two beautiful shirts. And then they couldn't decide between what goalkeeper shirts to use. So they picked both of them, which the two options we gave them. So one is kind of an optical illusion. I just love this shirt. This is another Gustavo Pancevic miracle. So you will get blinded as the keeper is rushing out from you, and you won't be able to handle it. And then this one is the Dia de los Muertos. You can see the sugar skull design there on the front, and little hot pink elements that Kappa kind of ran away with. I had this jersey designed a couple of times, a few different suppliers, and I just think Kappa have kind of taken a step up. You'd wear that out, like it's absolutely beautifully made. And so that was Martel Sonic, and then this one was Gustavo Pancevic as well. Again, just the little details. I have them the little yellow detailing and stuff like that. So they have a home and away. Kappa, and they set off a bit of a trend as well. So the other clubs in the Underground League who were using maybe the hand-me-down team wear jobs and stuff like that have all started to get their specially designed kits. So yeah, just delighted to be part of that as well.
That stripy one though really messes with my eyes.
Yeah, well, that's the intention, I think. Yeah. Moving back to Wales then as well. Probably a supplier some people wouldn't be that familiar with. GB Sportswear. Have you ever heard of them?
I don't think so, no.
No, well, one of the relatively smaller companies, and they have produced these for Fat Lads Football, which is kind of walking football, non-contact football, maybe for people who are a little bit older or maybe a little bit overweight, and just kind of getting back into football. So they're doing a little bit on mental health and, just general sort of men's health and well-being, and I think it's a really important message, and Gustavo Pancevic designed this as well. Well, he didn't design just one side of it. Oh, sorry, I'll show you the back as well, because there is a really cool font, but it's reversible, so you don't need bibs down a 5-side.
Who doesn't love a reversible kit?
Yeah, well, I never really did, but the collar on this is just really, really well made, and it's just put together beautifully, and it kind of helps that the design on both sides is so iconic. I love the dragon detail, and also that it has FootballKitBox in it as well, in an ABN AMRO sort of style as well. Kind of helps. But again, something else that I was kind of working on just with a different, teams, different organizations. I'm bringing designers and suppliers and concepts, and helping these teams to maybe have access to the kits that they mightn't be able to, normally. So for me, that's it's really nice to be able to do something in that way, and to have my name, associated with it. Dinosaur crests on football teams. It doesn't happen enough in this world, I don't think.
We need more dinosaurs.
Yeah, we need more dinosaurs. Lovely. This is the Prague Raptors from Prague. Obviously, this is a goalkeeper shirt. Jadberg. Don't know if you've ever heard of Jadberg. Prague Raptors are a team that was set up to help the refugee community over in Prague, and they do loads of work, camps and stuff for kids. And they have a basketball team, and a ladies team, and a men's team, and they just started working with disadvantaged groups and kind of grew out of there. And they're really solid organization. They're really worthy of you going to check them out and, you know, seeing what they're doing there. They've linked up with Leeds United. Daz, one of the top guys over there, is actually from Leeds. So he's linked them up with Leeds United. And I think they were planning on coming to England and doing a tour, but as with everything, that was shelved. So I don't know if that's going ahead or not. But they produced their kits in-house this year, and they're spectacular. It's a really nice crest and a sort of brand as a starting point. So they have some lovely kits this year, which I don't have yet, but do check them out. Soon. We're going to Russia. 5th or 6th tier, I'm not sure. FC Groza Kazan, which cool crest. And they did a competition with me a while ago, whereby, or not a competition, it was just a promotion. So you could get your name in Cyrillic. That's my surname, Behan, in Cyrillic.
Okay.
As part of the design. And these guys are really active on Twitter, and they're, you know, a couple of competitions lately, and they're just reaching out to the English sort of speaking world. And again, small little team that's out there trying to punch above their weight. And I love it when these small clubs reach out to me with a cool story. They just want to say hello to the world, you know. So I think using the kit as a medium is getting more popular, you know. It's product in hand, you know. Like I feel connected. I feel part of it, you know. I'm more likely to go and research the story or follow them online and, you know, follow their games and stuff like that if I have a shirt, you know. And teams are starting to maybe realize that, you know. Up until recently, you could only really get the shirts at the top levels anyway, whereas now, you know, some of the clubs are selling big volumes, like North Ferriby and Northwich. Northwich sold bag loads of kits last year, didn't they?
Yeah, so they're away design, designed by Phil Galloway, I think it was.
Yeah.
That I don't know the numbers. Yeah. Also, I don't know the numbers on. They weren't privy with that information with me, but no, it's an amazing design, and it was featured in national newspapers. It was in the it might actually still be in the history.
It's in the museum, the National Football Museum, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was part of the strip event. I'm not too sure if it is still there, or I don't know. That was meant to end quite a while ago, but with COVID, they've not really been able to do anything with it. But
yeah,
no,
I was thinking of going and picking up an L Celtic shirt for myself. Yeah, I heard there you could just go in and take them off the rack.
I felt so bad for that guy, but thankfully he got the shirt back. So
he got the shirt back, and that's the power of the Twitter football community. Wow, such a brilliant story. He got it back. I couldn't believe it.
Imagine offering to lend something of such value, and then like it's been there for like 3 days, and someone pinches it. Oh dear. You have worked with many clubs. I think if we sit and go through them all, we'll be here for hours. So I'll let you pick one or two more. And
well, I've only a couple left here. I'm going to go stateside now. I'll go a little bit quicker. Yeah. So Modric, Alexandria. I was chasing this kit for a year. It's the Jigsaw Kit, as I call it, and these guys are based in Maryland, just outside Alexandria, and again working a lot with the communities in America. It's kind of a lot of underage soccer is like pay to play, and it's people from disadvantaged backgrounds can struggle sometimes. So Modric are kind of working against that, which is really honourable. And the Buffaloes, of course, a great white buffalo from Buffalo, New York. I've been following these guys for a while. I don't have it, but again in 2018, the end of the year, they had this just a white plain Nike jersey, but with a giant purple buffalo on the front. Did you see it? Kind of like Unam Pumas, you know, that similar. So this in purple all over the front. So yeah, I got a batch of them, and then started talking to them, and then they stung me for sponsorship, and so this is actually one of their match prepared ones. And Icarus as well. Icarus are doing some great stuff stateside, you know, really fresh kind of designs, and bringing the shirts into wear them on the street as much as, you know, as much as probably one of the shirts of the year now for me. Very Marmitey. A lot of people are kind of like, what? That's not a football shirt. And then some people are just like, boom, I'm boom. Number one, it's an area. So based in Toronto. This is my first in area kit, beautifully made, tailored like a good Kappa kit, you know, just lovely tapered seams, lovely collar, little bit heat press vinyl crest, rubberized in area, and then just the detail, small little attention to detail everywhere. The colorway, you're never going to get another beige kit because beige is boring, right? And yeah, I would wear this out. And Providence, based in Rhode Island, and the Rogues are probably one of the best clubs out there for their design work and their shirts. Their shirts are like the same as Ajax release, you know what I mean? They go viral. People love them. They're great on Twitter, and it's a really strong brand. But they use their sponsors as a kind of springboard. So you've seen this, I presume.
Yeah.
So this is the Hammer kit. They did release it with Hummel, but this is a better version, I think, with an area. The shark is bigger. The design is a little bit fresher. Again, loads of little attention to detail, referencing the brand or the area they're from. And then there's an actual beer can with this on the front. It's Hammer lager or ale or whatever it is. And they've used it as a starting point. And and everyone in the kit community knows this. Like it's their kits become famous all the time. So that's what every small club should aspire towards, if they're going down that route. Like, they sell hundreds of their kits, and that's it's a really good revenue stream, and getting your brand out there. So I'm a really big fan, and there is some exciting news happening this year with the Rogues, but that is all I can say. And then the Stegman's Old Boys, which were the precursor to the Minneapolis City. I did get a batch of all their old jerseys. This one is probably one of the most boring ones, but I did give all the good ones away, which happens a lot in the last 2 years. I've given away so many such good kits, but those guys were really, really good. And Minneapolis City are not far behind Providence in terms of their kit design. A lot of the kits are very, very fresh. The Crows, they're playing a few levels up as far as I know. But the Stegman's Old Boys were just small little non-league club, and they kind of got together and built Minneapolis City from that. And just really, really cool guys. They did the crossbar challenge, the Kickbox crossbar challenge, and they all were sculling beers and then just pinging the ball off the crossbar. It was great in a dome because there's 6 foot of snow outside, and they don't see the grass for 3 or 4 months. So a lot of time for those guys. And just really, really briefly then, it's not the official Hackney Wick. It is one of the other reversible ones. It was kind of a concept we were working on. But also Hackney Wick are definitely a team worth supporting. Doing a lot of work keeping kids away from knife crime and stuff like that in London, and giving people, second chance and opportunity. So really, really, really sterling work. And then they've great design teams, as part of what they're doing as well. So that's another GB reversible kit. There's only 2 of them, and I had both of them.
Fair enough then.
Maybe I should give one of those away. There's loads more clubs, and if I didn't mention any of the clubs that I have worked with, it's because they were too popular, and I gave away all their jerseys, and I have none left. So
many have passed through your hands. So with some of them clubs, you've also done Project 2020, which you also alluded to 3 times as well. So we're really teasing the audience here. But what is Project 2020?
I was going to do loads of little ollie poses, but I don't have the chaise long, so I don't know if it's the same effect.
You just got to stretch it.
Okay, so Project 2020 is, the goal was to take 10,000 plastic bottles out of landfill and make something beautiful with them. So Project 2020 is, or was, something that I kind of launched last year. Had to be kind of parked and put by the wayside because so many clubs didn't know where they were and couldn't really organize kits. But they were looking to get the Hope and Glory make kits from the Eco Kit, comes from recycled plastic bottles. So they recycle the plastic bottles, make a polyester thread, and then they can make football jerseys with them, which in turn are recyclable. So that is, something we can kind of do against fast fashion. I wanted to get as many teams on board and then have the equivalent of 10,000 plastic bottles taken out of landfill and, made into something beautiful. I do live on the west coast here in Ireland, and you see flotsam and stuff washing up on the coast, and it's been at sea for 20 years. You see a fairy liquid bottle that is 80s branding, and you're just like, what has that done? It's just floated around the ocean for 20, 30 years. And for what? And for what? You know what I mean? Like, we could easily be using plastics that are biodegradable or, different materials and stuff like that. So it is a conversation that we need to have, but obviously there's more pressing matters at the moment. So it was kind of parked. I did have about 30 clubs lined up to get on board with it. And then when the pandemic hit, clubs stopped playing, or they stopped decision making, or the board stopped meeting. So a lot of them fell away. So I'm going to do it again now this year. I sort of relaunched it as such, and I will be doing some work over in the next while. So if you're you don't have to be, a large club. You can be a smaller club, Sunday league club. You can be a futsal team, the guys you play 5-a-side with, school, whatever. If you want to be part of it, just jump on to the website, FootballKitBox.com // Project 2020, and you can fill out your details there, and I'll be in touch. These guys were the Pyro on the Pitch, which is an Irish blog based in Dublin there, and they fused the 92, 93 Yugoslavia with the, I'm going to say 06-07 Ireland away, or third. I may be wrong there, just to get the colorway and obviously the design. It just looks really cool. It's a little bit kind of fashiony. They ordered a really small batch because we're like, oh, no one's going to want them. And they've already ordered a second batch, and they might even order a third batch as well. So their fans and other people are liking them as well. So that's all contributing towards it, Caversham obviously were bang behind it. They had another Twitter competition. Santi X, do you know him? French designer.
Not fully familiar, no, but I will be in a sec.
Well, you've probably seen the design on Twitter anyway. Again, with Caversham, another unusual colorway. You don't typically see this, although there was a bit of a minty explosion there last year. This is kind of a little bit deeper, and the continuing lines that are. Oh, I was going to hold it up against the other one, but same kind of lines. Beautiful embroideries, kind of oversized. Hope and Glory are doing now, and they're color coordinating their logo as well, which is very unusual. Smart collar, balls to cancer then again on the sleeve, and Project 2020. And this one is kind of the color of the ocean as well, so kind of like that. Wanderers, as I mentioned then earlier, they are also part of Project 2020 as well. Their brand new kit is the Eco Kit. So it takes about 13 to 16 bottles to make a shirt. Wow, so okay. Yeah, it's quite a lot. Like if you can imagine a pile of 10,000 plastic bottles, it's a lot. It's a drop in the ocean compared to what's gone out there, but it's still me, actively sort of looking to do my bit, I suppose. And this is another. What I forgot to say is any of the clubs that come on, we obviously get. We use the designers, so we have Gustavo Poncevic and the Kit Factor, who actually will design a worldie for your team as well. So it's not that you're just being part of the program; you're actually getting a worldie, for that as well. So this is Gustavo Poncevic, Luton Town Ladies. So you see the hat on the crest.
Mm.
So the hat has actually been replicated in cruciform shape across the front. Okay. They've gone with a deeper maroon type color to reflect the Galway. There is a Galway connection, and that's the Galway colours. And he offered to put me on the front, so I was like, yes. You cannot have enough kits with FootballKitBox on the front. So yeah, Luton Town Ladies, doing great stuff as well, and definitely worth a follow. I'm delighted to be connected with them. I have another few clubs lined up, but as I said, most of them fell by the wayside. So if you are interested in doing your bit for the environment and getting a worldly kit, just get in touch.
Perfect. So that's a lot of kits that you've either helped design or had featured with FootballKitBox. But let's go more into your personal shirts. So what kits do you have? And I think this is where people will find out what team you support.
Oh yeah. People don't know, really. Yeah,
people don't know. Boo.
So my first love was Man United. So Man United in Ireland, I suppose, supported all the way through. Ireland, I've kept supporting all the way through, and then Man United kind of drifted away from as I got a little bit older and a little bit more cynical, perhaps, and racehorses and Magnier and unfairness, and it doesn't quite tap in. I'm more interested in sort of lower league and grassroots football now, and rediscovering the League of Ireland and those kind of things, So yeah, I do still have a soft spot, and I still would maybe look at the bigger games and stuff like that, but wouldn't consider myself diehard in the wool. But I do have it. That's probably my biggest connection, the collection, the United ones, and this is probably my favorite. I only really got this a couple of months ago, and I've wanted it since I was a kid. Probably the 90s ones are all about. They're the ones really my favorite. I could probably let the rest of them go, but I have the best 90s ones, I still have my very, very first football shirt.
Oh, okay. That's
now I haven't tried to fit into it, but I don't know if I would. And I have 4 sons, so really I should be donating it to one of them, but they're so grubby and so I don't know. So 1983, The sharp has fallen off it. Lovely, lovely, lovely design. Yeah. Got that down as a hand-me-down. All my mates supported Liverpool. They were all about Liverpool. So they were always slagging off Man United, and I, being a man, to stand up for the underdog. Because you could really only support Liverpool or Man United. Like maybe there might have been the odd Arsenal one, but in Ireland it wasn't the same. It's a little bit different now, maybe. But you'd only see like Man United and Liverpool school bags. You know what I mean? You wouldn't see sort of anything else. You know. Obviously Celtic then as well, and then it kind of moves in chunks. So you'll have younger Irish people that would support Man City and Chelsea and stuff like that, you know. Yeah, so as I said, the 90s one was the best for me, and I think United in blue and black. I know that's probably weird, you being a City supporter, but I think I seem to like United in blue. Maybe deep down, I'm a City supporter underneath. Maybe that's what it is.
Welcome.
But I've always thought they look good in black. I love this one from 98, 99, and obviously the Kung Fu, the Cantona one. Another one I wanted since I was a kid, and I just love this one. The best part of this one is the giant Umbro on the back.
It's very 90s.
It's huge, and it's. I think they only wore that kit once as well, and look at the size of the Umbro on it.
And that is like, considering on this one it's tiny, and then I think on the shirt that you're
tiny. Yeah,
that one is gigantic.
It is. Well, look at it compared to.
Yeah, they grew up.
Yeah, it's like 3 times the size. That's nuts. Yeah, and then the one that obviously turned into people hated this at the time. I think I hated it myself, but this was because of the story behind it. When I came across it, and I was like, "That's amazing," and it's also unusual in that 90s kits some of them are so well made, and some of them are really flimsy, but they're still so much better well made than the kits of today. I fear for future collectors. I feel a lot of future kit collectors are going to be disappointed in 20 or 30 years time. It's unless you kept it in the bag, you could be in trouble. And obviously this might be a difficult one for you to watch, obviously, because it was when a Manchester club won something in Europe.
Who cares about Europe? It's all about the
the taping on the sleeves, when Umbro do something well, it's just beautiful. And again, it's just really, really well put together. It's kind of like a very unusual zip. I've not seen this since, and it still works, thank God, because I did have a version the zip is broken and you can't really wear the kit then, but yeah, 90s United kits now for me. I have a lot of the other ones, but I could take or leave them. I kind of came across them accidentally, and I did have 2 or 3 versions of them, and Kickboxers kept getting the best ones, so a lot of them are a little bit scribbledy, but I still love them. And then the Ireland. Yeah, I've always obviously been an Ireland fan, just because the Ireland team means probably different to say the English team, for English supporters, because we have always looked outward for our football fix, And Irish teenagers, if they're any good, they're gone by the time they're 13, 14, 15. Historically, it's changing a little bit now. And as a result, that was the outlet. So Irish soccer wasn't as developed because a lot of the talent was leaving. There was no money in it. There's no prize money. There was an awful lot of issues that I had to, get over. So when these established Premier League stars, whatever, were put back together, in an Ireland shirt, it brought everyone together, and it gave us our football at the top level, because we have the GAA, obviously. So in 90% of the rural towns around Ireland, the best talent would play Gaelic football or hurling.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily get filtered down in in the bigger towns and cities, perhaps it's different. But if those top guys, if we didn't have Gaelic football or hurling, we probably would be winning the World Cup on a regular basis. We're good. We're a good nation for sports. We typically punch above our weight. In most sports. And in the ones we play anyway. But the soccer team kind of gels everyone together. And the Aviva or Lansdowne Road, it's packed out every time, and our fans are the best in the world, although Roy Keane is not too happy with that. And that all kind of started in the 88, when they beat England. And then, it was almost even bigger in 1990 because it was a World Cup and because people had got used to it. And then all of a sudden it was like, we're at the World Cup. We're at our very first World Cup. And it propelled an economic boom. The whole country watched those games. You could go down the middle O'Connell Street, which is like Trafalgar Square or Piccadilly or somewhere very, very central. You could go down there when the matches were on and there was nobody. It was like Armageddon. There was nobody. Every single person in the whole country watched the 1990 World Cup, and we we were never going to beat Italy, let's be honest. Even though we gave them a good game, there was no referee who was going to let Italy lose on home soil in a World Cup. So the jersey has turned iconic, kind of from that. It's not a particularly special design, but it holds a very, very special place in most Irish collectors' heart. This one's actually signed by Niall Quinn. And also Irish are one of the very few nations that put sponsors on the replicas, because they signed a deal, and this is the first year, because they can't get a sponsor, that you can actually buy a replica kit with no sponsor for 30 years, maybe more. It's crazy. So yeah, I have those ones. And then obviously they went on and they had a guy called Roy Keane. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
His name comes up once or twice, but
yeah, well, he had an amazing season, 0001, and I'm lucky enough to get his name on the back. This is like herself. Thank you, Laura, my love. She's always great at finding me these shirts. And she comes back and goes, "Is this any good?" And I'm like, "What? How much did you pay?" "Oh, it was €3. I talked him down from 6. I'm like, that's like mint. What? She's really good. But this is like a woolly jumper. It's crazy. I don't know how they used to play football in that. And he single-handedly carried them. Well, depending on whose version you want to look, but he was playing the best football of his life, and I don't know how much you know about that campaign, but we were in with Portugal and Holland, and no one gave us a chance, and we beat them. We beat Holland, and we beat both of them, and qualified for the 2002 World Cup. This jersey, you might have seen it on, like Humans of New York or something. There is like a Humans of Tokyo or something, and a picture went viral of some dude in skinny chinos and a bowler haircut. Some Japanese guy. Did you see that? No,
I did. Yeah, I didn't know the context behind the picture, but I saw the picture and I was wondering why.
Yeah. Because well, it was just, I suppose, it's retro. So, but. Yeah, that was obviously our third World Cup. I did have the away from '94 that got stolen, but that's another story. And then, yeah, it was such a shame. I mean, even to this day, people are still sore about, Keane and McCarthy and Saipan and what happened there. And it's like civil war, divided the country, and still people can't understand it, and you were in one camp or the other, and we did so well at that World Cup, but like, if we had Keane, how well would we have done? We definitely would have beat Spain in the quarters, and then you're in the semis, and like Roy Keane was one of the best, and that was part of the problem, because Roy Keane was going into that World Cup saying, lads, I'm here to win this, and the rest of them were going, here, look, if we get past the second round or quarterfinals, we're on the beer. Do you know what I mean? And not because they weren't ambitious or anything. It's like that they were sort of realistic, but he was so fiercely ambitious that he created a huge divide with the rest of the team, you know, and the manager, McCarthy, wasn't able for him. He just wasn't able. He wasn't the right sort of manager, you know, so kind of would probably blame the FAI more. There should have been someone that could have intervened and fixed the whole problem. But Roy Keane went home, and the lads went on, and they used it. In fairness, they used it as a springboard to go and do well. We drew with Germany, and we beat Saudi Arabia, and drew Cameroon, and we went in. It was the second round, was it? Yeah, I'm forgetting now, but yeah, and it was kind of like, yeah, we had a grand World Cup, but Roy Keane was at home going, we could have won that World Cup, lads, because it wasn't really a great in terms of standard, although there was a bit of corruption around that. So yeah, I do have a good few Ireland shirts. I won't go through them all. I just want to speak about not the latest one, the one last, darker green with gold trim on it. Will be a future classic. I got a couple of batches of these, so these are gone out all over the world to Kickboxers, and I hope they don't think it's just because it's Ireland. I've sent it out to them because it's such a beautiful kit. When New Balance do it well, they do it so well, so well. That's really tailored, and it's really smart fitting, and it's it's adventurous, you know, which is what you want.
I'm looking forward to seeing what New Balance do with Roma, because it's like some of their kits, as you say, some of them, when they get it right, it's really right, and then when they get it wrong, it can be quite disastrous. But that's a.
But Roma, like you can probably name a really good Asics, a really good Kappa, a really good Nike, a really good. Do you know what I mean? Like, so the brand, you know, will carry it to some degree as well. Don't forget, you know, you can't. I doubt they're going to totally bomb it. You know what I mean? Yeah, hopefully not. Anyway.
So that was a nice stop at the 90s. What about for the current year? What are some of your favorite kits from this year?
Favorite kits this year? Let me see. Yeah, way better than 2018. Love it. Just probably nothing you can say that hasn't been already said about it, but just I love a little bit of crazy, a little bit unique, a little bit fresh. I don't think I'm young or hip enough to pull this off. And my brother did get me the matching track jacket for it, which has peacocks all over it because he thinks I'm a bit of a peacock. I don't know why. I'm not that flamboyant. These came in just the other day. Special mention. I'm not a West Brom fan, but I did love those barcode interpretations that they had, and I love when clubs go 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2. Sometimes I think that is. I think that works, you know. And there's little subtle differences with the crests and with the sponsors that they did, you know, just kind of changing the colorway on them, just to make the overall look of the shirt that little bit better. So yeah, special commendation to them. I got something today that I haven't even opened yet. Will we do is it weird Kickbox doing an unboxing? Since I'm normally the one sending them out?
I don't think so, because now I can put in the tags so I can get all three. So we've got a giveaway, we've got an unboxing, and we're talking about mystery boxes. So I can.
Well, I don't know if it's an unboxing. It's kind of an unbagging, and the bag is see-through, so there's not going to be too much suspense.
They don't need to know.
And knowing for a screen, I would imagine the bag is probably made of recyclable materials as well. Oh yeah, the back is lovely. Following these guys for a while. These are made with a bit of bamboo, and they're vegan. All the food is vegan in there, and they have, you know, sustainable sort of ethos and values. So I would love to get on board and to work with them. They're sponsoring they're promoting a sea charity as well. Sea Shepherd. That's on the back of the shirt, down the bottom. So both the home and the away, I have to get them. I've got a batch of them coming to a Kickbox near you soon. And I even think the away one, it looks a little bit better.
Love it. It is a really nice set of kits.
Yeah, and it's simple enough, but kind of fresh. And again, the sponsor. The sponsor is always important, sometimes the sponsor works, sometimes it doesn't. Hated this kit when it came out. Hated it. Plus, they did a promo shoot without graffiti, and I was like, Robin, Kickbox's style, which you have too recently, by the way. I'll get to that in a second. But love it now. Love it. And I'm not even a fan of this template, but I think it really works. It's just that little bit kind of bonkers enough. Plus, being Irish, I think I have a soft spot for like my Wolves and my Newcastle and my Southamptons and stuff like that. That's fairly acceptable, where you probably wouldn't get away with that in the UK. Then these guys are just absolutely ripping it up.
Yeah.
Did you get any of these?
I didn't know. I remember them being announced, but I didn't know when they came out. And then I realized on the day and they'd already gone.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what status. I know they did sell out, but I think they were doing another one. So they released 4 kits at the one time. And this is the away. This is the away goalkeeper. This was my favorite. Margate FC, obviously, and then the sponsor, the Libertines, which is really cool. They all have a sort of a scribble effect. And plus, I have a few O'Neill's GAA jerseys, but I don't think I had any O'Neill soccer jerseys, so that was nice. Also, fun fact, they've kind of made it look like 3 stripes. So there's actually 2 stripes on the shoulder, because O'Neill's had 3 stripes on their jerseys before Adidas. So they still have 3 stripes on their GAA kits. They went to court and said, well, hey, we were doing it before you guys, So the judge ruled that they can use 3 stripes in Ireland, but internationally they have to use 2 stripes.
Right.
So, yeah. So if that's ever a pub quiz question, well, it's not necessarily Adidas is the answer. Up here with one of my favorite kits of the year, ice blue, super cool, even nicer. It's kind of digitized. Do you have one of these?
I don't know. I know I think they might be a bit easier to get hold of now.
I think it might be a fade, but it's kind of a digitized fade.
Okay.
That there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So beautifully made. Simple in the actual design of it, but works really, really well. I think Zigo are almost as iconic as ABN. I think they have a nice kind of look to them. You might want to avert your eyes now for this one. I want to get the cup font on this. I'm a big fan of the cup font this year from United. I typically don't buy new jerseys. I obviously I get them through multiple different sources, and but I did buy that one because I have a funny feeling that's going to be a future classic. I did feel a little bit disappointed that the Chevy logo wasn't a little bit.
Yeah, that does kind of ruin the shirt. They've had ample opportunity to do something with that design, be it make it monochrome or something, and they haven't, and they've just kept it as it is, and it's awful. But
they made the badge monochrome. You know what I mean? Like, so I was, and the Adidas monochrome, like everything else kind of works, and they have previously sponsored clubs in South America with just the logo, just the outline of the logo. We'll see where the silver part is. So just solid color there. So it's not like it was never done before. So I think they may have missed the trick there. I mean, it's a really great shirt, and it will go down as an iconic shirt. I think it will be one to be remembered, but it It could have been that little bit better. It could have been transcended all those. What you want is you want a shirt that transcends everything. You want a Man City fan to say, yeah, I'd wear that almost. You know what I mean? That's kind of what you want. You know what I mean? And it just possibly maybe fell at the final hurl. I don't know. But I love it. Love it. Really, really fresh. And I'm glad they didn't go with the crazy shorts. Don't know if that would have worked.
Yeah, the shorts and the socks too. They could have gone taken it a whole other direction. So there are some very nice kits, and there have been some very nice kits this year too. So let's tie up here.
No, I don't want all the other mystery box companies knowing.
Let's tie up here with some of your favorite kits that you own. Then, as always, I ask people what their holy grail is, or to pick 5 shirts. I think you have, so I'm very curious to see what you've picked out.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Hang on 1 second. This has been added to an hour ago. So this is the freshest content you're probably ever going to have on your show.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know it. I know it, and I've got it. It's so nice.
Isn't it so good?
It's such a good shirt.
You might know there's a guy called Rob Fletcher. Every time there's a raffle online, I make sure he's not in it because then I don't bother entering it. The guy is born under a rainbow or has a unicorn for a mother. I don't know. He seems to win everything. But yeah, I got this from, and like that, Brexit situation, PayPal charges import extra. I was like, really, that's a really reasonable price. And then at the end of it, I was like, now that's nothing got to do with Rob. He gave me a really reasonable price, but the rest of add-ons after absolutely killed me. So I have my shirts, which I would take to a desert island or whatever. But I might have to revise that since this came in literally in the post. So thanks, Rob. I'll text you later. And most of these are kind of 90s or a little bit special as well. This is 93, 94, right?
I think is it that, or is it a year earlier? Isn't it 92? I'm not too sure because I think it wasn't the first kits they wore after Maradona left. I'm trying to get in my head when he left, but I've got the away one.
Yeah, I have to double check that. But yeah, it is one of those. Lovely raised flocking on the sponsorship, slightly oversized, slightly baggy, lovely pin down collar, and then just the overall design of it. I love the material on 90 shirts. There's always go for a bit of sublimation. We're kind of moving back towards that now, but we definitely moved away from that. It's just lovely, Like I'm probably nostalgic for the 90s because of my age, but definitely it's the benchmark, isn't it, really, for kids. 1998 Tokyo Verde, signed by I don't know who yet.
By someone.
By someone, yeah. No, I need to find this out. Embroidered Konami, embroidered Tokyo Verde patch. Konami on the front, Konami on the back. Nike were at that stage where it's all oversized, baggy kind of streetwear, so it's really shiny and really kind of chunky and heavy. But again, the kind of thing you wear, with trainers and very unusual. I had a big batch of J League stuff come in, and it all went out. And I only kept myself one shirt from that, and it's easily the hardest part of my job. Sometimes I can't put things in boxes, and then I go, no, it's got to go. And my collection has been decimated and then added to, and then decimated and then added to. And every time when Kickbox was going through a difficult time, I had to make some sacrifices to keep the customers, and some of them don't know the anguish I went through.
When you get stuck in.
My Fulham 2002, the Puma one with the dabs.com.
Mm-hmm.
Loads of thousands. I look and I just go, no, when I see them online, I go, I shouldn't have given them away. But I've had customers, some of my customers are with me for 2 years, you know what I mean? So, that's more valuable. in the end of the day. Sampdoria 93, 94, third, not fourth kit. Nobody had a fourth kit back then. Sampdoria, so iconic. And then sometimes the jerseys go a little bit. So ERG, or I kind of like the Nueva Terrena. I don't like the Verdi sponsor this year. I think it destroys the kit. Again, they could have gone monochrome and it would have done something, or tapered the logo a little bit. But those stripes and that man smoking the pipe, what's his name? The Popeye dude. He has a name. Very few Asics kits, and I think Asics really had some belters back from the 90s. That's just a fabulous, fabulous shirt.
I just have to quickly Google their new shirt, their new kit. Sorry, to see the it destroys it.
Well, they brought it out originally and released the kit with nothing, and then the Verdi sponsor came along. So I'm not entirely sure whether the sponsor just came along or they gave the shirt a chance to breathe before they did it, or I'm not entirely sure. But sorry.
Probably a new sponsor, my reckoning. I'm not too sure. That's just a guess.
Yeah, that would make most sense. Yeah. Yeah, I came across this shirt, and I get some stuff in from Eastern Europe sometimes, and this shirt I was unremarkable to a degree when it came in. Although I liked the look of it, it wasn't until I actually went digging a little bit to kind of find out, where is it from, and what's the story behind it, that I realized I was on a gem. So 06 Angola.
Okay, very nice.
Again, fairly simple, fairly straightforward to look at. So I put it up on Twitter, and then Rob Warner actually. Rob Warner, who is the designer, he was designer of the Italy kit, the Work of Winning kit in 2006. So you've seen it with the kind of superhero stripes down the side, and but why I love this shirt, it's because of the way it's made. I love it for technical reasons. I know that sounds really nerdy. It's not for the overall aesthetic of it, which is usually why I like kits. It's actually the way it's made. So first of all, the material is not really like kind of material. It's more kind of waxy. It's like kind of grease-proof paper. It was based on the material from a sail.
Okay.
So it doesn't absorb any moisture. The moisture just rolls straight off it. It's windproof as well, and it's figure hugging. So it was designed to be. This is a player issue shirt. So this is designed, to improve the performance of the players. There's no stitches in it. Everything is glued at the seams. So there's very few actual parts where it can be, torn or in the manufacture process. On the back, then there's one strip of elastic right here that's made of a different material than the rest, and it allows for full rotation of the shoulder blades and the upper body. So although it's very figure hugging, it's not as restricted as it should be, so it's made of very, very few pieces of fabric glued together, and it's Angola. I mean, you can't be having African nations. And then just the fact that Rob, engaged with me on Twitter and spoke about the process and spoke about all those little features that I was talking about there, that really, really excited me. The fact, and he was amazed that I had it, because typically for the African teams, you'd have the player issue ones for the team, and that'd be it. So if you get your hands on one, it's quite rare. There might be replicas made, available, but the player issues are quite rare. And to look at all the small little details after knowing why they're there, it just makes it a special shirt for me, No,
100%.
And then the pièce de résistance.
I think I saw this when you were walking them over.
You're not supposed to be peeking.
Oh, I really want one.
Well, if I had a second one, I would give you one, but I am certainly not giving you this one. I actually won this one on a raffle, would you believe? And God knows what it would cost me. Bochum, VFL Bochum, obviously, so many good design features in this. Put together beautifully, low very subtle VFLs in the sublimation there on both sides. The colorway, the rainbow, and the way it kind of incorporates the sleeve, very unusual. Embroidered crest, embroidered sponsor on the neckline, which is almost kind of like a cycling jersey. And then this is embroidered, which is very unusual. The main sponsor is an embroidered piece that's obviously stitched on. But again, it adds to the weight and to the feel of the shirt, On the back then, it is named and signed by Zavik. So it's actually match worn and signed, has felt crest on one side and it's long sleeve. I mean, what's not to love? Are you okay? Are you sniffling there? Are you crying a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. I am. I've
Come
been
on,
one of
you
them.
got to share the love, man. I love your shirt too. I want one of those.
I've been after one of them for years. I'm trying to think when I first saw it. It was whenever the first Fabric Football event was with Class Football Shirts. So I think it was brought 2017, 2018. It was the first time I saw it. And as soon as I walked in, I saw it. I was like, yeah, I need that. I need that right now.
Well, I would highly recommend it. Yeah, you don't see that many of them around, and there is obviously the other versions, with the blue and stuff here. I don't think it works quite as well.
No, the white one is the best, but you said the blue. I think the goalkeeper one was red.
The red certainly doesn't work, but no, it's not a shirt I would have kind of sought after until I've seen it in the flesh. Like, I'm not a man who chases, although I'm wearing this. I'm not a grail hunter, and my shirts aren't all up in plastic bags and stuff like that. I have shirts to wear, and they're part of my collection, and I wear them. Some of them I wear out and about, and some of them I'll wear to football. But like, the whole reason I get into shirts is because I like them. They're not as I said, they're not under lock and key somewhere.
Yeah.
Although with the way the value is going over the last year or two, maybe I need to look at that.
No. So I think we've been going for about an hour 15 minutes, maybe an hour 20. So I'm going to end it with
that was quick.
It was, wasn't it? I'm going to end it with the final question of what's in store for the future of Kitbox. What can we expect from Football Kitbox?
Well, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, it's a very, very trying time. It's a very, very difficult time. I have, I'm a family man. I've just, run a small business, out of my house. I had no idea it was going to grow to the size it was. I have kickboxers in over 20 different countries all over the world. And I'm building connections with different clubs all the time. And they sort of see, where I'm coming from. And, they're using me as a vehicle to, get their name out there. And I'm using them because they have cool shirts and I want a better price. So it's going to be, moving a little bit more. I have to evolve. I have to be a little bit better, a little bit slicker, a little bit smoother. So I just have to up and just improve the standard of shirts. So it's going to be worldy after worldy. This month's shirt is the biggest club we've ever dealt with. We're talking not top, but we're talking world recognizable, and that is a massive coup. At a time when there's, as I said, Brexit, the pandemic, all these mystery box companies coming up, I was really getting fearful. I thought maybe the days are numbered. So I've just looked at going a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder. This month, as I said, it's a worldie. And then next month is a shirt that everyone's going to want and nobody has. And nobody else will be able to get. So I've 2 months of, really, really exciting shirts. And that's the way I'm going to go. I'm just going to keep moving around the world and keep introducing new fans to new markets, and keep getting wild and wonderful kits into my subscribers' hands.
No, that's wonderful. So if anyone would like to go buy one, then do check out. I will link your website, your social medias, and everything in the description. So if anyone would like to check you out, physically and online, then there is a place to do so. So everyone, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for joining me, Paul. Do keep an eye out for the next two months of Kickboxes, because I'm really curious to see what teams they are. And I may get 1 or 2 or 4 myself. But yes, I will be back whenever, I don't know when, with another episode soon. But for now,
we have to do the giveaway before you sign off.
Of course we do. I alluded to it at the start and forgot.
Yeah, well, you said at the end, you said the last thing. So let's give away a Derry City shirt. Yeah.
Perfect. What size is it in?
Medium.
Medium. Oh, perfect. Okay. I can enter it myself then.
You're not allowed to enter.
So let's do what your favorite football kitbox shirt that you spoke about earlier. Yeah. So
favorite shirt you saw in the video. Yeah.
I will put the tweet advertising the episode, reply to the tweet, and why not share the episode? Why not? That's just
they have to 100%. They have to you put the content in the tweet and then they retweet it. So they have to follow you and me and retweet it and jump on one leg with no.
And play the trombone. And we are currently recording on February the 22nd. Let's give them till March the 4th, because why not?
Why not?
That, and I don't know when this will be edited and up. Hopefully in the next day or so. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again soon with another episode. But for then, ta-ta, stay safe.